Hey guys, I just yawned, so it's why my face look like that. Okay, today I want to talk a little bit about applying to like contests and stuff, particularly the contests that I applied to. So yeah, there's two big ones that I know quite a bit about. Intel, which is now named Regeneron. Same thing though, I think. I haven't really looked up the application yet, which I will be doing in this video. The other one being Scholastic. Kind of on two opposite ends of... No, I'm not gonna say that because that is untrue. Humanities and science rely on each other very heavily. That being said, they are traditionally seen as like two opposite ends of the spectrum of, I don't know, a spectrum. I don't know what the spectrum is, but I guess just like high school activities, careers, fields of study in general. Okay, let's, I literally had a tab open 2 seconds ago. I have no idea where it went though. Where are you hiding? Oh, okay. Right, okay. So here I have a fake Regeneron account that I just opened to see what the application looks like. I don't actually have my full application that I submitted to Intel. What is it, 2 years ago now? Jeez, okay. But I do have bits and pieces of drafts that I emailed myself at some point. Okay, so I have my Regeneron account open right now. So I'll just like go through it and like talk about it, I guess. Okay, so basic information, that is task 1. This looks very straightforward. Okay. Saying I didn't fill anything out. That is true. I did not fill anything out. Okay, and then recommended requests. So for Intel, I don't know if the rules for this are the same or not, but for Intel, you were allowed to have 1 to 2 recommendations, preferably math science teachers. Like these were like recommendations from people that like did not advise your project. So I asked my AP Stats and Geometry teacher from 10th grade to submit one. I didn't get 2 people to submit them because I don't know, I just like wasn't really that close with any of my science or math teachers besides her. So yeah, I just got one. So task 3, high school information. This also looks pretty straightforward. Current coursework. Yep, just like write what classes you're taking. I would put like science and math classes on the top of the list and then list everything else. Not that it really matters, but I feel like that's what I did. Okay, activities, interests, and awards. Ooh, okay. For this part, I had participated in a thing that Toshiba like organizes called Exploravision. I'd done that with like a couple other kids in junior year, and we actually won a honorable mention. So I think I put that here. Right? Don't they ask for something like that? Yeah. For like awards, science competitions and programs. I think I just put like, I mean, it wasn't like a science fair. It was just like a I don't know, we submitted like a project proposal, and we had to make a website for it, stuff like that. I don't really know what I don't think there were these check boxes for my application. But yeah. Okay, and then extracurricular activities. Yeah, okay, this is also pretty straightforward. They don't ask you like why you do them, they just ask you to write some activities and your involvement and the duration and leadership. Yeah, so that's kind of just like filling out the Common App. If you're doing this at the same time that you're applying to college, you can just like copy paste stuff. Volunteer work and employment, summer activities, future plans. Oh geez. Okay, so for future plans, I would suggest being like I think so colleges and probably Regeneron also really want you to like be a visionary. Like when you're in high school, they're hoping that you still have that like spark and that drive in you and it hasn't been beaten down by society yet. So that's like what they're looking for. They don't really want a realistic answer, they want a visionary answer. At least that's what I feel like they're looking for. I don't know, I'm pretty sure I wrote something super ambitious. School subjects. Oh wow, we did not have this question, I don't think. Yeah, you'll have to think of a reason why for that also. Okay, awards. These are just listing. Okay, so I'd say you want, okay, with this entire application, you want to be honest, because they can definitely tell when you're not being honest, but they also do want you to like be a visionary and like be a future, what is it? Because it's called Science Talent Search, right? They want you to be a future leader in the world of science and math and STEM things, right? So yeah, they want you to really like have a picture of what you want the world to be like in the future. So yeah. Everything you say here should somehow relate to that, even if it's just a question like, what's your favorite high school subject? Like, sure, you can say history, but you're gonna want to tie that to your like end goal somehow. Like, I guess history is actually, in my opinion, quite a good answer, because because they obviously think that, oh, everyone's just gonna want to put either science or math or something along those lines because that's what they think we want them to say. But history, like, you can talk a lot about how like learning about the past, like, it can prepare us for, because that whole saying like history repeats itself, right? So if you know what has happened for the past centuries and millennia, then you can definitely like learn from that and use it to your advantage for the future. Wow, I'm just spouting like Regeneron answers right here. You heard it here first. Don't steal that. Actually, I don't know. Rephrase it. I don't know. Do whatever. Let's see, what's next? Test scores. This part's also pretty straightforward. I honestly don't know why they want test scores and how test scores are at all an accurate reflection of your potential as a future scientist, but they asked for them for Intel, and it seems like they are still asking for them here. Oh, and they want you to upload the proof. For us, like, yeah, we just like screenshotted them, I think. I know the ACT let you like download an official looking PDF of your score report, but for the SAT, I think we just like screenshotted our scores. Alright, so task 7, essay questions. 1, 2, project inspiration. Okay, so I have, so from Intel, 3, these questions are literally identical to what we submitted. Wow, they haven't changed a thing. That is quite amazing. Yep, 6 major scientific question. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about my answers to these questions because I think my answers were quite interesting. So for layperson summary, that was, for me, like, I just took my abstract and then simplified it so that the words would make sense to myself. Honestly, like of course, after doing all that research, I understood my abstract and what I was talking about, but like, think about yourself before you started research and before you started reading all these papers and like Googling all these things. What would you have understood at that point, kind of, you know? Or you could have like your friend read it, or a parent read it, or just someone who is not an expert at the stuff that you're doing, read it and tell you if they think it makes sense. I know 150 words is really tight, but they do just like want you to get to the essence of it, so definitely, like, I know everything in your abstract is definitely relevant, but cut out the things that don't, that aren't required to like get to your final conclusion, or like they aren't so required for a layperson to make sense of how you got to your conclusion, if that makes sense. Like, there were findings that I had in my abstract that I completely cut out of my layperson summary just because, like, my layperson summary, it told a story. Maybe it wasn't the complete story, but like, as long as it tells a story that makes sense, that's all you have room for. So yeah. Project inspiration. Okay. So for my project, I actually ended up using quite a chunk of this essay response for my college apps and my supplement essays, so that's interesting. But yeah, I wrote this because I guess for psychology projects, it's like a lot easier to talk about what inspired you to do it, especially if it's like about a mental illness, because they are so prevalent in the high school population. So I definitely talked about that, and how what I saw around me was kind of what inspired me to investigate this problem, because my research had a lot to do with anxiety disorders. Okay, and then number 3. So yeah, like, you kind of want to have some sort of a compelling story about how you got inspired to do this project, even if, like, that's not actually how you were inspired to do it. Like, it should still make sense and tell a nice story. I don't know. Okay, so STEM interest. After completing your research, how has your interest in science, engineering, and/or math been clarified? This is 300 words? Oh, interesting. So I talked about my interest in writing, actually, and about character development, and then my desire to capture, or like, when I was developing characters, it was like really hard when you couldn't actually like put yourself in their shoes and like understand their motivations and desires and stuff like that. So then I talked about like how I found that the human brain is such an intricate thing that it's actually really hard to like be able to capture them in stories. And then I went into blah blah blah, objectivity of psychophysiological measures, and then I tied that into diagnosing mental illnesses. Yeah, so in this essay I somehow was able to tie my interest in writing with science in 300 words. I'm quite impressed with that, actually. I did not use this essay for my college apps, though. Yeah, like, it wasn't written that well, but it did its job. Okay, so like I was saying before, like, even if your answer is not exactly what you think they're looking for, as long as you're honest, that's really, like, they will like that. Same goes for college apps. As long as you're being, like, honest, they will like that. Okay, so what benefits do you think your research will bring to the world? Did I just repeat my... Oh, okay, so this is not my layperson summary. But this is, like, the spiel that I gave, to, like, during most science fairs when a judge comes up to you and you have to explain your work. So, like, this is what I told them, basically. Like, it's a summary of my research, but kind of more focused on the importance and the impact that it has. Yeah, this is literally exactly, like, word for word what I told all my judges when they came to see my poster. And then at the end I tacked on, like, a sentence or two about how further research should be conducted to verify my conclusions. And then I gave, like, a few suggestions. Yeah, super vague. Okay, I think so 5 and 6 are, like, the long essays, right? Oh my gosh. Okay, so yeah, for 5, my essay was basically just, I recycled the first half of my Common App essay, the Why Do Men Have Nipples essay, and then I wrote a new ending that didn't talk about poetry at all, but instead talked about the workings of the human brain and, how my research can also give me clarity about the questions that I seek to answer. So, like, if you haven't seen my Why Do Men Have Nipples Common App essay video, go check that out. But basically I was, like, talking about my curiosity and how poetry provides me some clarity about the questions that I seek to answer. Here, I twist it so that research does the same thing, which it does. It does. Wow, okay, so yeah, that was my essay. Definitely unconventional. Okay, and then number 6, major scientific question. I just talked about error-related negativity. Why did I talk about that? I think, okay, so I talked about, okay, so yeah, this is kind of like a mini essay where you need to have, like, some citations, except I didn't put a works cited at the end because that obviously takes up words. I just put in, like, parenthetical citations after some sentences. Talked about anxiety disorders and error-related negativity and how it could potentially be... Oh no, I talked about how error-related negativity has shown to be an unreliable method of systematically detecting anxious behavior at an early age. And then I kind of proposed that you could look into other components. I don't even remember what the point of this essay is, honestly. But basically it needs to relate to your research, kind of, but not be your research, you know? So I guess it can either be an extension of your research or something that you saw before that, like when you were doing your background reading, but like isn't what you ended up doing. Just like something related but not exactly the same, I'd say. Yeah, I don't know. I just like talked about these things. Okay, so I talked about what error-related negativity is, and I talked about how it can be used for detecting depression, but anxiety does not directly correlate with an increased deflection for error responses. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I talked about like something that's tangentially related to my research that I thought was significant, and not enough research has been done on it. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, it's like a question in your field, like they say, that has not been answered, and you think you may have a solution to it, and it is important to be answered. Something like that. Yeah, there we go. Okay. That's all I'll say about the essay questions. Task 8, previous research. What's this? Okay, I had no previous research, so I did not put anything here. Conference presentations, abstract publications, student level publications, paid publications, or future submission plans. We did not have this question when I submitted. Damn, people present their work at conferences? Huh. Student level publication. Okay, my school did not have any research journals that were like, that was like a student club. I don't know. PhD level peer-reviewed journal publications. They're really upping like their standard, I guess. Nah, I feel like it's just because like more, or like they have noticed that some kids do publish before they apply to Intel or Regeneron, so they just wanted a slot for it, probably because like those kids complained that they had nowhere to put it. I don't think most kids by any means have publications before they submit to this contest. Okay, and then science research description. Mentors, how did you get the idea for your research? Okay, these are like, so these are the shortish questions that I don't think I really saved. Oh no, I have it here. Okay, so when I started working at my lab, I read papers, blah 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 blah. I soon wondered if there were biomarkers that could determine the presence of other mental illnesses. So yeah, really straightforward. What's the next question? What was the duration of the research? I just said I ran my participants from January to April 2015. At that time, I spent roughly 9 hours per week working on my project. From May until November 2015, I spent roughly 16 hours per week analyzing my data and writing and revising my paper. Yeah. And that's all I wrote for number, is it still number 7? No, it's number 9 now. Okay. And then 10, if your research was conducted as part of a larger research project or group. Yeah, okay, if there were other high school students in the group, be specific about how your work was similar to and different from other students versus your independent work. This was, I had to literally like text the other high school student in my lab and like ask him to send me his layman summary so I could like write about how it was different from mine, because I had no idea what he was doing, obviously. Okay, so my work is part of a larger study that my lab has been conducting. However, my work is independent from the larger project because that project is only concerned with the electroencephalogram data that was collected, while I analyzed solely the startle reflex and self-report data from the subjects. Okay, yeah. There's and then I explained what the other high school student was doing. These things are really just be like straightforward. They don't want any like flair or like extra anything. I think essays 5 and 6 are really the only no, 6, don't even be creative with 6, essays, like, okay, essay 5, essay, okay, yeah, essay, so essay 5, essay 3, essay 2 are really the only places you want to be creative, I'd say. Any essay that's like about your personal journey as a scientist or a researcher, then you can be creative. But like when it's like, what was the duration of your research, like, don't be creative with that, just be straightforward. Okay, and then please attribute the support you received in each area of the research process. Okay, so for this part, I really did not save any of my answers, but it was definitely very straightforward also. Indicate any other substantive guidance received. I don't remember having this question, actually. It's likely that it was there, but I don't remember what I put. Maybe just like any teachers in school that like read over your application or your paper or something. Like, I don't really know. Okay, statement of independence. I don't know. I should have clarified this in the beginning, but the Intel application is a very long application, and there are so many questions besides just the essays themselves. It's going to be longer than any single college application you submit, and therefore you should get started on it pretty early. Don't rely on like, wait, yeah, I didn't even have Thanksgiving break to do, yeah. Don't wait until the last minute. Definitely like work on it either over the summer or in the first months of your senior year. I know like it's really hard, but yeah, it's a long application. Okay, research report upload. Okay, this part is easy. You just upload your paper, and then rules, wizard, form uploads. Oh, shoot. Okay, yeah. If you did a psychology project, you need to submit IRB approval forms and stuff like that because they will ask for them and they need to know that your work was not unethical. If you work for a lab, they'll definitely help you out with a lot of that. If you're working by yourself though, that's when you can probably get in a little trouble for not having IRB approval, or like a lot of trouble for not having IRB approval. So yeah, if you don't do a psychology project or any project involving human participants if you're working by yourself or without like a legit lab, because submitting for IRB approval is a very formal process that takes a very long time, and if you're already going to be submitting to Regeneron right now and you don't have IRB approval already, you're not going to have the time to file for it and get it approved before the submission deadline. And I'm sorry if like someone misinformed you about that. I don't know. Yeah, you can read about all the rules on that on the Regeneron STS website, I'm sure. But yeah. Okay, so then beyond the project, what's it? I'm pretty sure this part's entirely optional, right? Yeah. For us, this part was optional. I don't know if it's optional here, but like they just ask for your date of birth, your contact information, your ethnicity and race, because why the fuck not, you know, your t-shirt size, because they will be sending you a free t-shirt for everyone who finishes their application. What else? What's public materials? Oh, okay, so, oh, that's nice. Okay, and then family information. Oh wow, this is a lot. Patents. Okay. Yep, this is fine. Okay, yeah, so that's your entire application. So yeah, that's basically it. My advice to you guys, I'm sure I've mentioned this already, but just be truthful. First and foremost, that should be your ultimate goal in your entire application, but also have like a vision for the kind of person you want to portray yourself as, because this contest, it's not just about your project and the work that you've done, even though it probably should be about just that. It's not about just your research, it's also about your potential to become a future scientific leader. So especially in your personal essays, you want to always have a vision for yourself and for the world, and you want to make sure that every single thing that you write in your application all points towards that direction, right? So yeah, that's my one key piece of advice here with this application. Other smaller things that are also pretty important: start early. Get people to proofread things if you want. You yourself should also proofread things. Spend time on it. Don't like just rush through it just because it's straightforward. Even the straightforward questions, you want to like make sure the words you pick are the words you want to put there. I don't know. It's gonna take a long time, but it's gonna be totally worth it. And I think even just like filling out the application itself definitely got me to think a lot more about the research that I did and why it's important. And so when I like did some science fairs and stuff afterwards, I could a lot like more easily explain what it was that I was doing and why it was important to the world, you know? So yeah, great thing they got going here. Hopefully this was helpful. I feel like I say that at the end of all my videos, but yeah, definitely let me know if you guys have any questions about this whole process, and I will see you guys next time. All right, bye.